Hello, hello! It's Rebecca, and we're finishing up yet another year. This year in particular was a difficult one for me, but we made it through, so I can share my 2022 bullet journal flip through. Like last year, I continued using a journal by Maisie Lane. This one was sent to me when I became a brand ambassador, so it was personalized with my name on the front in this beautiful gold foil, and on the spine of the notebook there is a foil of a simple feather. Rather than choosing random themes for 2022, I wanted my journal to have a cohesive theme of music throughout the year. So for the beginning of the year setup, I had a variety of these abstract blobs on the pages and then layered different music symbols on top. I had always wanted to do a style like this, so it was fun to make it using a few of my favorite colors. I actually spent the time to write down a few goals for the year, and although I didn't necessarily hit them all, it was still something that I can look back on now to see what I wanted to accomplish. The fact that I was even able to hit some of the goals and reach past them was really encouraging. This is one of my favorite pages in the entire journal because it gives an overview of all of my themes for the year as a playlist, as well as the songs I was listening to on repeat every month. I mentioned that all of my themes this year were inspired by music, and I did that by choosing a different song as the theme for each month, incorporating aspects from their music videos and lyrics. I always like to make a list of the videos that I was able to record and bring to posting on YouTube because it shows me how much I did over the year. I only used the Kanban board a little because it gave me an idea of what steps I needed for finishing each video. In January, I started out with a theme based on the song Snowflower by Taehyung of BTS. I actually looked back through all of my themes, and it turned out that all of my themes were drawn using markers this year. I have better control over drawing with markers, which is why I prefer them, but I would like to try to get back into painting and more into digital art next year. Overall though, January was a really enjoyable month of doodling in my journal. For February, I experimented and tried out making a neon light using markers and pens, and surprisingly, I was very happy with how it turned out. This was a diner theme inspired by Monsta X's song Someone Someone. It was also this month that I realized that I didn't use habit trackers, and so I never made a habit tracker after February. Also, since the song is fully in English, I used a few more of the lyrics throughout the spreads. I was actually a little sad that the video for my March theme didn't do very well because I was honestly really proud of it. Inspired by BTS's Microcosmos, this was one of my favorite themes because it's also one of my favorite songs. I incorporated a sponge technique with some ink from my markers that created this watercolor effect on the page, and overall combined with the gold sparkles, it just felt very dreamy and exactly like how I pictured it would turn out. My April theme was largely inspired by a crane theme that Amanda Rachely made, but I centered it around the song Dancing Like Butterfly Wings by ATEEZ. The blue and yellow is not a normal color combination that I gravitate towards, but it honestly worked out really well for this theme. You'll also start to see that this is where I began struggling to use my bullet journal. I lost interest in making the themes and was at this point just forcing myself to be creative every month. I'm hoping that I can take some time to fill in a few of the days that I missed throughout the year as a look back and reflection. Moving on, I did a Polaroid theme for May inspired by the song Snapshoot. I ended up doing a lot of songs inspired by the group 17, and I think it was partially because I got the chance to go to so many of their concerts this year. It was a fun theme for me because all of the Polaroids had doodles of scenes from their music video in it. May also kicked off my concert season, so I attended my first Monsta X concert that month. In June, I went to a concert to see the boys live, and as a result, I chose their song Thrill Ride to inspire my journal theme for the month. There were a lot of really simple doodles in this month, and I loved how perfect this theme turned out to be to welcome in summer. With all of the travel, I didn't get a chance to use my journal much, but you'll see that I really started using the 4-week weekly spreads a ton. It was convenient and the perfect amount of room for me. Now, July was honestly my least favorite theme in the journal. I was inspired by the Stray Kids song Sunshine because it was one of the first songs I heard by the group. I did a sort of watercoloring style with the sponging again, but it didn't turn out as well as I would have liked. The Sunshine theme also just felt too boring and simple, and I didn't really feel like I did justice to the song. Regardless of this being another month that was hard for me to use my journal, I did get to see Stray Kids live in July. August kickstarted the crazy traveling for concerts because over the course of 3 weeks, I saw 17 three times in concerts. I chose to do the song Darling by 17, and it ended up being perfect because I decided to work on a project to make stickers to give away to fans at the 17 concerts. My themes for August and September ended up being inspired by these stickers. This ended up being a more cute theme than most of the others in my journal, and I actually really adored it. In September, I chose the song World by 17 as the theme, and if I remember correctly, I had run out of time when filming the theme, which is why it ended up being kind of simple and on my list of themes that I didn't like as much for the year. While the sticker was probably my favorite one, it just didn't work out well when translated to a journal theme. Nonetheless, it was still a good travel theme, and I got to interact with my favorite member of 17, Minghao, during the concert that month. It was so surreal to make eye contact with him as well as the other members of 17, but it felt even more like a dream that Minghao waved and completed my heart twice at the concert. I really can't wait to edit that vlog and share it with you all. For October, I went to my last concert of the year for The Rose, so I chose their song Beauty and the Beast as the theme for the month, although it ended up being more of an abstract rose theme. You'll also see that I started to use my journal a lot more in September and through the end of the year. Around this time, I actually started working through a lot of personal things in my life, and the most that I could do to cope was just filling that space by focusing on my hobbies. I picked up streaming a lot more and did a lot of planning for them using my journal. It was kind of insane how blessed I was through that time, but it also made me really thankful. November was actually the most simple and minimalistic theme in my journal this year, but it's still a contender for my favorite overall. I knew I wanted to do a song by IU, and there was a song that I could really relate to above all of the others, which was Palette. It was encouraging, but also very real to some of the feelings that I have being 25 myself. I also began using a lot more washi tape, and I can definitely see myself using it more in the future. To celebrate the last month, I chose to do Jin's song The Astronaut for December. All of the songs I chose this year were from the K-pop genre, and my love for the music started with BTS. This year marks the beginning of BTS heading off to do their military service, which to some extent feels unreal, so in a way this was my nod to the group as a whole. Not to mention, the song made me cry, and still makes me cry when I listen to it. I had a lot of fun with this theme and the doodles, so it felt like a perfect finish for my journal. So that is all I have for my 2022 bullet journal flip through. Let me know what your favorite theme was in the comments down below. I hope you all have safe and healthy upcoming holiday seasons, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!